Hello, guys and gals, and welcome, welcome. Cody's downstairs, so I get to have Mr. Dusty Buns out with me today. Let's say hello to Mr. Dusty. And we're going to be doing a unique item video today on the Okun's Catalyst. This is a new unique item that they added for Season 7. I believe we are on, like, patch 2. God, what are we on now? Like 2.1 something? I can't even remember the patch number. It'll be on the thumbnail, though, no matter what. They actually did do a couple hot fixes and some other things since then, too. So it's not like it even is still the same patch number that has been when Season 7 launched. Looks like we are currently on 2.1.1 is the current version that we're on, 2.1.1. And that actually doesn't go live until February 4th, so I guess we're still on 2.1 at the moment. Okun's Catalyst is one of the new unique items that kind of replaces one of the aspects that used to be in the game. It was the gravitational aspect. The gravitational aspect still exists, but it's kind of not in the game anymore. And in its original form, they took what it used to do and they added it into Okun's Catalyst. So if you're interested in the ball lightning build from seasons past, this is an item that you can potentially use for that. Let's go over the item itself first, and then we'll talk about it, what it does, and how you can potentially get the most out of it. So Okun's Catalyst is interesting because it has a special passive effect, and the special passive effect states ball lightning can be cast while moving, which is very interesting. So before you had to kind of stop and like get your rotational, like axes going up, so you had your ball lightnings around your character, and then you could move around and you could do what you were supposed to do. And since, of course, it's spinning around you in a circle, well, you kind of want to be able to cast it while you're moving, which is a pretty big improvement over the previous versions. It does have a really nice damage attack speed for 5 seconds after casting a defensive skill, which, as you can see on the greater affix, is up to 52%, which is really nice. I'm not sure exactly which pool that's in. I'd have to do some testing. There's two pools in the game. There's Pool A and there's Pool B. Pool A is things like Ring of the Starless Sky or Andoriel's Visage. Pool B is things like Rapid Basic Skill Attack Speed Bonus or Accelerating Aspect. You can get 100% in one pool and 100% in another pool, and you for a total of 200% increased attack speed. If you have basically all the pools, you get all the increased attack speed. It's really nice. We also have another bonus here, which is damage reduction for each active ball lightning, which can go up to 2.3%, as you can see there in the greater affix, which is really nice. It does go up to 1.5% regular. It does have plus the ball lightning itself, which goes up to 3, and you can get greater affix on that as well. It has up to 17.5% chance for ball lightning projectiles to cast twice, which is kind of an interesting choice because, well, I think there's a limit on the maximum number of ball lightnings that you can have, and it's really easy to hit that limit. So casting twice seems like an odd choice, especially since they were converting everything over to double damage now. I prefer cast twice in most scenarios, but if there's a limit on the number of available ball lightnings that I can have active at any given time, I would prefer double damage. There's also the unique effect, which is ball lightning orbits around you, creating a static field that damages all enemies within for up to 180% of ball lightning's damage per active ball. You are unhindered as long as the field is active. Unhindered, of course, giving you the ability to move through enemies, and your movement speed cannot be reduced while you're unhindered either, which is really nice. Let's go ahead and pull ball lightning and put it on our bar real quick, and pretty sure I can grab my Ring of the Starless, which will give me access to ball lightning. This is not a ball lightning build. So before you guys even comment on how terrible my damage is, which it probably is very terrible, this is not a ball lightning build. So ball lightning is an interesting ability that I've always, even since the beginning, the dawning of the age of Aquarius, I have always been interested in potentially getting a ball lightning build running. Now, I didn't really particularly care for the spinny ball lightning, but the spinny ball lightning is definitely a thing that you could potentially do. As you can see, it still works very similarly to how it worked in previous seasons, which is, of course, it fires off the... I'm using the... so my basic skill doesn't even give me mana back. Oh, man, the mana cost on that is insane, isn't it? I mean, if I keep holding down the button, eventually it will get a little bit better, won't it? Because, I got Ring of the Stylus on, so it should be reducing the overall cost. As they go around you, they do these little static field things. It's very, very similar to any of the ball lightning builds that you've seen in the past, except now it's all compactualized into this unique item, making it so that you have a specific unique item for this build. There are some improvements, though, over the other, like previous build, and we'll talk about that as well. First off, let's go over the unique flavor text, which is children and beasts do tremble at thunder's roar, but the wise know to fear the silence of lightning. Okun of Zan Asu. So the couple things that they've enhanced with this is number one, being able to cast it while moving, which was not something that you could be able to do before. If you try and cast ball lightning, for instance, just regular ball lightning, if you try and cast it while moving, your character stops. You notice how my character has a hitch in her step whenever I go to cast the ability. However, when you put on Okun's Catalyst, it's very clear that you are now able to cast this while moving, which is absolutely amazing for a character that is kind of designed around movement, right? So, not exactly a bad thing at all. In fact, a very good improvement. The cast attack speed bonus while you're casting your defensive skills is really nice. This obviously allows you to get much better damage out of your ball lightning by being able to cast more of them quicker, but you do have to, of course, solve the problem of the mana cost, which is like 50 mana cost, which is stupid. But it's pretty easy to do that. If I were going to build 4 ball lightning, I would be very easily be able to reduce the cost of the mana. Obviously, they're also giving you some bonuses here, like ball lightning, and they're giving you the ball lightning projectiles cast twice, all in one neat little package. On top of this, they're also giving you an additional effect. So before there was no static field, it was just the ball lightnings orbiting around you, dishing out the damage. Now you're getting this static field, which does an additional damage to all the monsters within it, giving you more damage than you had before, and also giving you unhindered, since the entire build seems to be based around moving around, obviously, which, is a pretty kind of a big deal. By the way, if you're looking to get your hands on this particular item does drop from Lord Zir, which is, of course, right here. This is the Lord Zir Darkened Way. So if you're trying to get your hands on an Okun Catalyst, you're going to be farming Lord Zir, and you're going to need the Bloods, which is the Exquisite Bloods. Exquisite Bloods drop from all over the place these days, and if you just farm the game, you'll find hundreds of them. But there's a list of all the different places that you can potentially get your hands on the Exquisite Bloods. Most notably, World Bosses, Legion events, and the Blood Maidens seem to drop them the most, but you can get them from other places. Another thing with this is the fact that it takes up the focus slot. Now, I'm not exactly sure if this is a positive or a negative, depending on how you look at it. So, like, take, for instance, my character that's currently using Shard of Erethiel, and my character is utilizing the Firebolt, like firewall setup, where I'm basically casting my firewall and getting like multiple attacks, right? Well, because of this, because obviously I'm using Shard of Erethiel to get this high basic damage and to increase my overall damage output, I'm in a situation where I'm forced to utilize a one-handed weapon and a focus, which does mean that my overall on-hit damage is a little lower than probably what it would be otherwise, because, well, I just don't have, like the big honkin' like two-handed weapon, or in this case a staff. And it may very well be that when it comes to ball lightning, them putting it on a focus specifically has stunted the damage of ball lightning by preventing you from being able to put this on a staff and gain, like enhanced bonuses, or just in general using a staff in general, right? So there's something else there that needs to be considered. The damage reduction for each ball lightning is amazing. I mean, the item is very well crafted for a ball lightning build, but there's other issues. Like, the sorceress doesn't really have the greatest damage output these days. It feels like they took away a lot of the multipliers and various things that were needed to increase damage output. Like, Devouring Blaze just no longer works on lightning skills at all, even if you have the monster burning, where it used to work with the monster was burning. There's a lot of various small things here and there that have changed, kind of like forcing the ball lightning, or rather the ice and the lightning skills, into kind of like obscurity. There's a couple bugs going on right now where Shatter is doing a massive amount of damage. There's another couple bugs that have to do with the witchcraft powers that are allowing the sorceresses to scale further than they otherwise would be able to. But in my experience so far, the Okun's Catalyst build in Season 7 isn't really very impressive. Not by itself, anyway. Now, utilizing other witchcraft powers, utilizing like frost skills and fire skills and things like that to enhance the damage further, like the shatter glitch or the witchcraft power glitches that have been coming up and honestly getting patched out every now and then, you can potentially get your damage a lot higher. In fact, I've seen a lot of builds actually focusing around deep freeze this season, because deep freeze likewise has a really nice multiplier through vulnerable damage now, which allows you to get some absolutely crazy damage out of deep freeze. But again, that's not really ball lightning, right? That's something else. I'm not sure what to think about this item. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad item. I think it's a good item. Like I think I give it 2 thumbs up and maybe Chinchilla thumbs up as well in there. But the problem is that I think the sorceress in general just has a lot of DPS issues. And after this season of the witchcraft ends and the bugs that are currently being exploited through things like decay augmentation, through the actual occult gems that are like converting the ultimates into witchcraft powers and allowing them to scale via the witchcraft powers. After those are gone, I'm not entirely sure that the ball lightning build is going to be that amazing. It's going to be a subpar build that I don't know. It's not really going to scale very high. I actually kind of avoided it this season, and went with a fire build because like I think it's stronger. I'm already hitting for like 2 billion burn ticks. That's burn ticks, so that's about 4 billion damage a second, just on burn ticks alone, and that's not including, of course, all the additional damage that I get from direct, which I have a lot of direct damage as well. And I'm haven't really pushed this character as far as I'd like to. I think I actually would like to push her further in the game, not off a cliff. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals joining me for these videos. Be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button if you enjoy the content. I appreciate any donations that you guys can make to the channel, any likes, subscribes, comments, any way that you can support the channel, because, of course, at the end of the day, this is my job, and I got a family to support. So if you have ever considered donating to the channel or supporting through Patreon or any of those other methods, consider it strongly, because the channel needs your help.